Coombe, Part 5. His driver, having dropped him off, ambled away slowly, leaving Coombe on the Melton Road in Leicester. Coombe had lived here in the 80s and 90s, and this felt like something of a homecoming. Coombe drank in the smell of the myriad curry houses and Indian sweet shops, and looking up and down the road he saw the jewellers, suit shops, and sari makers this area was famed for. Coombe was here to see a man about a rocket, and knocking on the door of the small terrace house in Cannon Street, he gave himself a moment to wonder where this might take him, and allow that bubbling feeling of being back on the job to cloud his senses a little. A woman opened the door, looked Coombe up and down with an air of suspicion, and shouted, "Prakesh, you have a visitor." Coombe stood on the doorstep for what felt like an eternity, until the man known as Prakesh bounded up to the door and implored him to come in. "Mr. Coombe, so good to see you. I have been expecting you." Prakesh was a small, slight man in a Nehru shirt, cotton slacks and sandals. He'd lived in this area his whole life, but having been educated at Cambridge, spoke with a cut-glass English accent. "Mr. Coombe." "It's just Coombe," Coombe interjected. "Ah, Coombe, can I offer you a cup of chai?" Coombe refused, and instead was led by Prakesh down to the cellar, a feature of these old terraced houses. Beyond the thick metal door lay a bank of now defunct listening equipment, a computer, and a large cluttered workbench strewn with complex-looking bits of machinery that Coombe could not identify. "M told me you're here about a Mr. Aldous Renfield, head of the London Mint." "Yes," Coombe replied. Not content with fleecing the elderly of this world, he seems to have something to do with rocket parts supplied to the Indian Space Agency. Only thing is, those parts keep going missing, only noticeable by a few wayward digits on complex inventory management software. Prakesh waited a moment before speaking. "I have been working remotely for the Indian Space Research Organisation for some time now, and while things at the ISRO are not always as well run as more expensive outfits like NASA, missing parts have never been an issue until now, especially with those missing parts being rocket ignition systems." "Bloody Ada," Coombe cursed under his breath. "Why is it always rockets? Why is there always someone intent on blowing something up?" Prakesh continued. "I think it best you and I pay the ISRO a visit in person, see what we can find. But before we do, I have something to show you. I think you're going to want to see this." Coombe will return in Coombe, Part 6.